Mellow greetings, Tubians, RononTyr here, and let's fanfic Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town. Watermelon, 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 watermelon. Watermelon. Can I please get my volume stabilized? Please, pretty please. Thank you muchly. Spring 3, Year 1, Tuesday. Kinda sunny. I am so sore. When I got up this morning, I felt like someone had spiked my breakfast with lead. Oh. I thought I was fairly fit before this, but now I hurt in places I didn't even know existed. I swear I've discovered entire new muscle groups over the course of the last 2 days. There was a strange man at my door when I went to start my day. He introduced himself as one, another newcomer to town, and a merchant to boot. He seemed intrigued by my having a farm, and he told me about the rare seeds and stock that he kept and really wants me to buy. Apparently he's staying at Zach's place, wherever that is, alone. I was so zoinked out that I just kind of nodded until he left. It's kind of a cutie though, in a weird, yellow sort of way. After he left, I tended the crops. And that was a trial. At some point this will get easier, right? And lifting my watering can is not going to make me feel like my arm's about to drop off at the shoulder or that my knees are going to give out, right? It will get better. None of the journals mentioned this. Everyone always talked about how eager they were to get started with their new farming life, but nobody ever said, "Oh dear God, it hurts." So future generations, pay attention. It hurts. Tending the crops felt like it took me all day, but in reality it was only about 2.5 hours. I don't really have a lot planted, and I really want to get more out, but I don't think I can physically handle it right now. Once I got the crops seen to, I decided to go foraging. So, I headed south. Just looking for anything that I could ship. Kind of a little bit cash poor right now. I found Mr. Gotts's workshop, but I didn't go in. I really didn't feel up to it. I remembered something from Great Aunt Kira's journal about making an offering. Actually, let me double check that. Yeah, here it is. She discovered in early spring of her first year that you could make an offering at the pool near the hot spring. And she said that something good would happen. I didn't actually know what she was talking about, but I decided to give it a try, because hey, if I'm gonna make this work, I need all the luck I can get, right? Right? Oh, nobody told me it would be this hard. Well, that's not true. They did. I just didn't listen. Journal, make a note. In future, I will continue not listening to any of my elders, because you know what? No. You don't learn unless you do. So during my foraging, I gathered up as many wildflowers and edibles as I could. Sort of poked around a bit. Explored the land to the south a little. It's a nice little area, actually. I did see some folk wandering about, but I just... No people. I hurt too much for people. So I went and I made my offering. I threw in some moondrop flowers. That was kind of fun. And then it happened. She appeared. I still am not really sure. She said she was the harvest goddess, as in the harvest goddess. Capital H, capital G, the. She knows my name. Maybe the old family stories are true? Maybe. I decided to go visit an old friend of Grandpa Caraman's, Mr. Muji. I was still kind of in shock, so I don't remember much of the conversation, but sort of went, checked out his farm, said hi. There was this gorgeous chick standing there, but I just... After that, I made my way up to the church. I thought maybe if I talk to the priest, there's a priest in town, right? And maybe he can reassure me that this isn't just some muscle fatigue induced hallucination. But the priest was busy, so I ran away, Journal. I'm not proud to admit it, but I didn't really want to go confessing in front of a whole bunch of people that I may have had a divine visitation while throwing some random flowers in a pond. And how do you explain that to people? Excuse me, Father, I was out doing some foraging this morning and I tripped and dropped some flowers and... Hey, you know the harvest goddess? Well, she's real and she knows who I am. Please help. I don't think that's going to go down well with anybody, to be honest. So I decided, Journal, that I was going to numb myself with work. I came back and I started clearing that section down near the fodder grass that I found, because I really want to encourage that to grow out so that I don't have to pay for fodder grass when I get animals. I'll just already have a stock. It'll be great. The harvest goddess. I may or may not still be a little bit shocked, Channel. I put in a hard day. I worked. And now it feels like my arms are going to fall off. And I still can't stop thinking about it. The harvest goddess. I mean, what the? Maybe I ate the wrong grass. And some of those herbs are known to have some quite significant effects, right? Right. That's what it was. I ate the wrong combination of grasses and it was a fever dream. It was just tripping on mushrooms. Although it can't be because I haven't found any mushrooms yet. I don't think they grow until autumn. Don't quote me on that, Journal. I'll fill you in on that later. Look, still absolutely overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. She knew my name. Alright, that's it. Channel, I'm going to bed. I am so sore. Night, Channel. Spring 4th, Year 1. Sunny. Wednesday. I actually remembered to check the weather report last night. I've got to make that a habit. And this is 100% a requirement. It must be a habit. I am still so sore, Journal. I really did used to think I was kind of fit, and I'm not. I'm not fit. I'm not fit. At some point I will be, right? Yeah. So Mr. Muji was waiting at the front door for me when I tried to leave this morning. As I said, went and saw him yesterday. He asked me to take care of a foal that has been doing poorly. He lacks the time and energy to care for the critter. I agreed to take him on, and I have never seen somebody so happy at a decision in my life. He let me name the foal, so I named him Rain. Mr. Muji told me how to care for him, told me that, he'll basically feed himself, he'll wander around all day. I just gotta talk to him, give him a bit of pat, brush. Brush. I'll need to make some money so I can buy a brush. He then said that he'd come back for Rain once he was grown. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And I want a horsey. I want him to be my horsey. But I've got about 3 months to make sure that he grows up big and strong, and hopefully convince Mr. Muji to let me keep him. After that, I set about tending the crops. Journal, you're not going to believe it. My turnips are sprouting. Oh, when I saw that, it was like I suddenly had all this energy again. It's all worth it. My turnips are growing. I'm doing something right. I was so excited to see those little green sprouts that I was practically floating as I went about the rest of my chores. And once everything was all nice and watered down, I decided to go foraging again. And as I explored the south, I went past many, many peoples. And I might have actually smiled at somebody. I'm not really sure. Still kind of in a daze. My turnips are growing! That is so very cool! Once I was done with my foraging circuit, I'm gonna call it that. I'm gonna try and develop this into a habit as a way to at least put some money in the bank until my crops start to turn a profit. But what was I saying, Journal? I'm still really, really sore and really, really tired. Oh, that's right. At the end of my foraging circuit, I decided that I'd make another offering. And if yesterday wasn't a hallucination, and if that really is the harvest goddess, she's sort of somebody I wanted to keep on side, you know? Oh, that was my basic line of thinking while I was doing it. So I once again approached the spring pond miniature lake. I'm not sure what the correct term is. I think the locals call it a spring, so let's go with that. So as I once again approached the spring, I threw in some more, I think it was moondrop flowers? Was it toy flowers? Oh, it was moondrop flowers. They're the prettier ones. And Journal, she appeared again. She thanked me for the offering and said it was something that she enjoyed, and then she just sort of vanished in a puff of logic. After that, I decided I was going to try out the hot springs and just soak for an hour, because, what better response to talking, interacting with divinity could there possibly be? So I went and I soaked myself for an hour, and I'll tell you what, Journal, those things are miraculous. I feel so much better. I still hurt. It's very clear to me that I did some work today, that I lifted things and toted things and stuff and other things, but I feel so much looser. So, make a note, the hot springs are miraculous. Future generations, if you're reading this, I should probably explain that. Nah. Maybe. Not right now. Future generations, if you're reading this, the hot springs are your best friends in the early days. Then, I went back to clearing the field. It's kind of boring work, but it feels good. I'm gonna need this space if and when I manage to get strong enough to handle more than 3 plots of crops at a time. And if and when I make enough money to be able to afford more than 1 lot of seeds at a time. So, I scythed? Is that the correct word there? I scythed, I chopped, I smashed, I smushed, I cleared, I came home, I remembered to check the weather journal,